Very good evening to you, our listener out there. And once again, I would just like to welcome you to this very weekly program, goes by the name Face the Mic. And today here, I'm very much honored to have with me Professor Dr. Peter Baofu, an American scholar and writer who has so far written 148 books, whereby by next week, something surprising is that it's going to have 150 books exactly. Dr. Peter Baofu, you're warmly welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, this is TBC International Studio, and as I said earlier, that we are so much honored to have you in the studio here.
Thank you for...
Yes, my name is Dar Es Salaam. I'm going to be with you all the way to 4 o'clock East African time. Well, very interesting background. Now, down to the business. You've said that you've been able to come up with 115 new theories and visions of the future.
The end of the Cold War, a lot of people in the West, especially, let's say, in America, they believe that somehow democracy and capitalism are the highest achievements. And that's why we talk about the end of ideas, the end of history, which means for them that somehow we have reached that climax of human civilization and history, such that all the major ideas in the center, in this case, capitalism and democracy, as the highest achievements of human history. One is in politics, the other one is in economics. And I'm trying to tell them that we are not near the end yet. In fact, we are only at the beginning to come with some new ideas about the future. That is why I'm challenging, behind these visions that I'm proposing, I'm challenging all the fundamental conventional wisdoms that we believe in. And this is so profound in the project.
Well, you've said that so far you've just come up with new 115 new theories. But could you just please mention a few of them? Yes.
Let me mention some of them that people like to talk to me a lot, because those are the popular ones. The one that I just gave you already is the notion nowadays that a lot of people believe in democracy and capitalism, and they think that that is the highest achievements in economics and politics. There can be no other political and economic system which can be better than something which is democratic and something which is capitalistic. That's why at the end of the Cold War, you have the ideology in the US, especially in the US, but also in the West in general, that somehow those are the highest achievements, especially in relation to liberal democracy and market capitalism. And that's what they call that the end of ideas, the end of history. We reached the point, such an achievement, so tremendous, that America stands for the height of that achievement. That's why American civilization is the future civilization in this case. So I'm challenged that is a, by the way, post-Cold War American propaganda, by the way, just in case you do not know, that is a propaganda. And I'm challenging that post-Cold War propaganda, that is not true at all in academia and also elsewhere. And this is why some of these ideas are so profound in that case. You asked for the example. These are two examples. Another example that I also challenge to is the notion somehow that the American century will last. I am arguing many years ago that the US could be in decline and China could emerge as the dominant superpower on Earth. I remember that when I wrote my dissertation at MIT, where I get my PhD, in 1995, more than 20-something years ago, and people just laughed at me when I gave some presentation about that. And now no one laughs at me anymore. They argue with me, but there's the improvement. Before, they just totally dismissed me altogether. But now they don't do that anymore, but they keep arguing with me. At least there's an improvement. That means that they take me seriously now.
Well, once again, I have to say, very interesting. Well, out of those 115 theories, the new theories actually, you came up with something that sound very, very unique. The unified theories of everything. What are they all about?
Okay. Here is another theory. So one is post-capitalism, that's one theory. Another one is post-democracy, the second theory. And the third one is the notion of hyper-empire that I just mentioned, the emergence of China, India, and all that. That's the third theory. Another theory of mine, and I propose three of them, is about the unified theories of everything. That is about theory before theory. The reason is because every time when we understand reality, we are using a lot of hypotheses and theories to understand them. But theories and hypotheses are not innocent. They presuppose certain assumptions, certain realities, certain authorities, certain methods. So I'm proposing that to understand that is to ask the question and to reach deeper into the understanding of that reality. Then we go into meta theory. Theory before theory. And that is exactly what the unified theories are supposed to understand. Just in case you get confused, I'm not talking about the unified theory of everything in physics. Now, that is a confusion here. What I'm doing has nothing to do with the unified theory in physics. The unified theory in physics is a specific theory. This is to apply to physics. My theory is even more profound than that. It's not about physics. It's about everything in the entire universe, whether you talk about sexuality or politics or mathematics or cosmology or urban planning or a furniture or a video or a film or a terraform, whatever that is. I think there are some fundamental principles which govern all of them for us to understand. And for example, one of the unified theories is what I call existential dialectics, in which I propose more than 70 principles so far to understand what those fundamental realities are like behind theory. So that is another one. I know this is getting very complicated, but since you asked, I propose them. Now you understand how come one theory is not sufficient. Each field requires you to have some understanding of the future. You do no justice to scholarship if you simplify everything and try to come up with theory and say that is going to explain everything. Like I just told you, class struggle in Marxism. That's a good example. Freudian analysis in psychoanalysis, another example. I reject all of this. It doesn't work that way in reality. Now you can see slowly why you need so many more. And we are only at the beginning. Don't think that we are near the end of ideas. And in fact, I have proposed 116 so far, soon by next week. That's only the beginning. I want to show the world we are not at the end of ideas. We are only at the beginning. In fact, there's only 116. Who knows how many more that I can propose? And who knows how many 100,000 and 1,000 more that people will propose in the future.
And since we are
exciting,
not,
isn't it?
Since we are not at the end of the world, then more theories will be coming up. Well, remark from Professor Dr. Peter Baofu. Then we've come to the end of today's Face the Mic program. Just to remind you, today I had with me here Professor Dr. Peter Baofu, an American scholar and writer, Dr. and Professor. Thank you very much for
Thank you for
being
inviting
here.
me.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Dar Es Salaam. Much thanks to you, my listener out there, for being with me all the way from the start to the end. See you next time. See you next Friday. Coming up next is News Bulletin right here on TBC International 95.3 FM. Bye for now. And